Now I've got my shape on this page, I'm going to have a go at practicing some techniques on this. Now I'm not going to copy directly this bit because this is more about practicing techniques that will really help me when it comes to adding colour on my actual piece. So I've got here, and you can see they're quite sharp, I've got a blue and a navy. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly colour in my iris. So the bit with the colour is an iris. So I'm just going to add colour in there because the majority of the eye that we're working on is blue, but I want to look at a couple of things that will just really make your picture look fantastic. So one of the things is within your iris you have lots of strands of colour, and that is because your eye muscles are retracting, they're kind of pulling your pupil to dilate it. And so when you look really closely in an eye, and it's more obvious if you've got lighter eyes, so if you've got green, blue or kind of grey coloured eyes, you can see it a little bit more. So what I want you to have a go at doing is from the very middle, so from that pupil, I want you to use directional marks that come out from the middle. So I'm putting a bit of a mark around the pupil just so I know where I'm working from. But you can see that I'm just flicking these lines, and what I'm doing is I'm using my wrist, so I'm not really using my hand so much. It's all coming from my wrist, is this action. Okay, so once you've done something like that, you've kind of got a base. I want you to go around the outside, pressing on really nice and hard, because again, we're looking at a blue eye, so most people with blue eyes will have this. And I'm actually going to use a little bit of purple here, just to make it really nice and dark. You will have a line around your iris, and then I'm going to do the same technique but going towards the middle. Okay, my pencil is slightly blunter now, so I'm getting thicker lines, and I'm pressing on quite hard to do this, and you can see I'm moving my hand to get the angle right all the time. And this will just give it that kind of realism that you are looking for. So give kind of the flecks of colour. Now, if you wanted to, you could add in, like I can see on here, there's a bit of brown around that edge. So you could add in a bit of brown, but it's not essential because we're just practicing. Really, I want you to practice this flicking technique. Okay. Now, the other thing to think about, and you use kind of the same technique again, is this shadow here. So there's a shadow within the eye, and if you look carefully, it's actually the reflection of the eyelashes. So it's sort of the shadow of the eyelashes. So you would have, so I'm using a purple now, just because it's a tiny bit darker. So you'd have almost a shadow under here. And then I'm going back in again with my blue. And then I want you to try and curve some of those lines so it looks a bit weird to start off with. But using this area on this side to practice where it doesn't matter if it goes wrong, really, because this is your practice section. It just means that you can practice getting those marks right without going too hard on your actual iris. So, just to make this look a bit more normal, I'm actually just going to shade in, and I'm using a pencil, which is really bad, but I didn't get a black pencil crayon. So, usually you would use a black pencil crayon for this, because pencil's too shiny. Okay, so now the thing that is really obvious there is that I haven't put any of these highlights in, and that makes a huge difference. So when I do this on my piece of work here, I'm going to make sure that I mark out where all of the highlights need to go. But this is just about practicing that flicking motion. So this sort of motion. Okay? So have a go yourselves.